To the ongoing battle in Syria now, and some developing news this morning about President Bashar al-Assad. Russia's ambassador to France tells a French radio station that Assad is willing to step aside, but only if it happens in an orderly way. Syria immediately denied that report. Meanwhile, there is chaos in the capital Damascus and on Syria's borders. Opposition forces swarm border crossings in the country's north and east, taking key posts along borders with Iraq and Turkey. We're also hearing up to 30,000 Syrians may have fled into Lebanon in the last 48 hours. And a UN refugee agency says up to 1 million Syrians are internally displaced as of last week. The CBC's Middle East correspondent Sasha Petrusik is following developments on the story and joins us now with the latest on the phone. So, Sasha, what is the significance of opposition forces taking control of these border posts?
Well, Nancy, this is not just a symbolic move trying to show that they, in fact, can take over significant elements of the government kind of infrastructure. What we're seeing here is very strategic. Those border crossings that are along the border with Turkey are significant because many, if not most, of the fighters who are fighting for the rebels, the Free Syrian Army, they move across that border all the time. If you like, Turkey is in many ways the garrison for that army. And so it's important for them to be able to control those border crossings so that their people can move back and forth. On the other side, toward Iraq, well, if you want to think of Iraq, it's basically the the armory in many ways for this same army. This is where most of the equipment comes through. This is where the ammunition comes through. They need to be able to control those border crossings if they're going to continue fighting. And now that they have control of both of those, that's a very significant move.
So that's the strategy for opposition forces as they try to gain the upper hand here. What appears to be the strategy for the Assad regime, Sasha?
Well, over the past few days, ever since the news of that bomb explosion, if you remember from a couple of days ago in the heart of Damascus, it appears that the government forces have decided that the number one priority is to hold on to Damascus. Several key government officials have even said that this is the deciding battle now. And so they pulled back a lot of their resources into that area. The problem for the Assad forces in Damascus is that they are fighting in a large urban area, and in many ways the rebel fighters have shown themselves to be much more adept at that kind of street fighting. They have small arms, they can move quickly and easily from one area to another, from building to building. They can set up snipers. The military, yes, it has some very big and impressive guns. They have helicopters and all kinds of things. But, in an urban environment, those are really overkill in many ways. Unless they want to flatten entire blocks of neighborhoods, they don't have a way of really controlling things on the ground quite in the same way. They're on the defensive in many ways. From all the accounts that we've been hearing from Damascus this morning, the place is quite deserted. People have left. They've left entire neighborhoods. Shops are closed. Money is running out. In fact, some of the aid agencies are handing out money right now because it's not a question of food. They're just, people don't have money. They don't have the ability to actually live in these cities, so they're moving out. And that may explain some of these movements of refugees that we've been hearing about that you mentioned toward the border of Turkey and Lebanon.